One of the most frequent questions I keep getting asked is about my add-ons. So I'm going to show you one of the most influential add-ons when it comes to my gameplay. Now, number one, I'm going to mention Galvin's unit bars. This is not an add-on that I would be keeping track of when I'm playing because I'm just not used to it, but this can be very helpful if you want to have everything easily visible and around the middle of your screen, around your character, or wherever you see fit. As with most of the add-ons, you press escape, add-ons, and there you can see the list of your add-ons. If you go to Galvin's unit bars and click on GUB options, you can set this add-on up. Now for most of these add-ons, I use majority of them on all the different expansions I'm playing, from TBC all the way up to Shadowlands. But some of these add-ons don't work on all of the expansions, and the settings UI may differ a little bit. Right now I'm on Stormforge Mistblade on Mist of Pandaria, and this is what it looks like. In Galvin's unit bars, you can set up things like your player's health, your target's health, focus target's health. You can set up your resources, your mana, combo bar, holy bar, runes if you're a Death Knight, shards. You can set up the way they look. You can set up the colors, whether it shows the number or percentage. You can set up when it's visible and when it's hidden. You can move it wherever you want on the screen. For me right now, I'm using only the default player's HP bar and player power, which for me as a Death Knight is runic power. You might also use the rune bar. You could show your runes somewhere around your character so it's easily visible and you don't have to look all the way to the upper left corner to see your runes. So there are plenty of options. Try to experiment with it. It's definitely a great add-on, and I keep getting so many questions about it. So next time somebody asks me about what's this resource and HP bar in the middle of your screen, it's Galvin's unit bars. Now this is probably my number one add-on, which I couldn't play without. It's called Tell Me When, and it can track a number of different things. It can track your cooldowns, your buffs on you and on other targets, debuffs on you and other targets, buffs on your party members, duration of the buffs, duration of your cooldowns, and you can again move these wherever you want on the screen. You access the settings by typing /tmw, and then you can set up your own Tell Me When. So here on the left you can see I have two lines where I track diminishing returns on my crowd control. The upper line tracks diminishing returns on my target. You can choose between the various icon types, spell cooldown, buffs and debuffs, diminishing returns, and so on. Then you type the name of the spell that you want to track, who to track, so I want to track diminishing returns on my target, and then whether you want to show the icon when it's diminished or undiminished. Don't forget to click on enabled when you're finished, and if you want to track the timer, you can also set this up here. The same thing for the focus target. You just type here units to watch, focus. That's all you do. Then I also track my diseases on the target. So these are debuffs. So you choose the option icon type buff debuff. You type the name of the debuff, unit to watch, target, and you choose whether it's a buff or a debuff. In this case it's a debuff, and I want to track when it's present on the target. Again, enabled and show timer. And this is what it looks like when I use my Icy Touch to apply Frost Fever to the target. You can see the icon right here, and also the timer. So if I see that the Frost Fever is about to wear off, I use Icy Touch or Chains of Ice again, and it refreshes the duration. Same with Plague Strike to apply the Blood Plague debuff. As far as buffs that I'm tracking, it's for instance Horn of Winter. So again, buff/debuff, you type the name of the spell. You want to watch buffs on yourself, so that's a player, buff, and when it's present. Click on enabled and show timer. Another buff that I'm tracking is Lichborn. This way I know how long the Lichborn will last on me and how much time I have in order to heal myself or prevent CCs with Lichborn, so that I can maximize its use. You can see now I don't have the Horn of Winter buff up. Now if I click it, it's up for 5 minutes. Now I can press Lichborn, here we go, and I don't have to try to keep the track of the buff here in the corner. When you have 10 or 15 buffs up on you, that can be really hard, so I'm tracking it this way wherever I see fit on my screen. Another add-on that you could have seen just now in the middle of my screen is DoomCooldownPulse. You type /BCP and here are the settings. If I unlock it, you can see the icon right here. I have it in the middle of the screen, but you can put it wherever. This simply what it does is it tracks your cooldowns, and as soon as the ability is off the cooldown is refreshed, it will just show you the icon in the middle of your screen and just flash it in front of you only for a little while. So if we test it, this is how it looks like. Really not even 1 second that it flashes in front of you. It's really easy to set up. The only thing you do really is move it around the screen wherever you feel like it's the best visible to you. You can see now Lichborn is coming off of cooldown. You'll see it flash. Here it goes. So it is a great add-on and it helps a lot even if you don't realize. Similar to Tell Me When is also PowerAuras add-on. I'm used to Tell Me When and the settings on Tell Me When, so it's really easy to set it up for me. But if you're someone that prefers PowerAuras, you can basically use it in a similar way that you do Tell Me When. Another similar add-on and very popular is WeakAuras. All these three add-ons, Tell Me When, PowerAuras, and WeakAuras, they all give you around the same settings and the same options you can use. Some of them have more options, some of them less. You can just use whatever is the most comfortable to you. For me, it's Tell Me When, but I also like to use PowerAuras on different things and WeakAuras as well. So use whatever you prefer. Another important add-on for my UI is the add-on I use to set up my action bars the way I want. You can access it by typing /BT and it's bartender 4. With this add-on, you can set up your action bars the way you want them. This is the way I have them set up. You can see the extra action bars here on the side. They're actually not visible. So what you can do is, for instance, for bar 7, you can go to visibility tab and make it fade out to 0%. That means it will be fade out when you're not mousing over the action bar. If I make it fade out to 50% like this, you can see it just in 50% opacity. You can set where you want the bars to be, how big they should be, how visible, how big the icons should be, and a number of different things. So it's a great add-on to have, and it definitely gives you a lot more options than you would have with the default UI. Also very important add-on is an add-on that improves your nameplates, especially enemy nameplates. For this purpose, I either use tidy plates or nameplate cooldowns. I'm pretty new to nameplate cooldowns, so I can't tell you really much about it. Here on Mist of Pandaria, unfortunately, these nameplate add-ons keep glitching. When I'm in a battleground against enemy players, the nameplates just sometimes get stuck in the middle of my screen and they don't move, they don't do anything, so they're just there, and unless I log out, they're still just stuck So I'm still experimenting with the nameplates add-ons on Mists of Pandaria. Now I'm logged on to Cataclysm to show you how tidy plates work. So I'll use my Chains of Ice. You can see all the debuffs on the enemy target's nameplate. You can see my necrotic strikes, my dots and everything clearly. That's what tidy plates is for. And finally, LoseControl or BigDebuffs. LoseControl shows you active crowd control effects on your target's portrait, on your pet or your party, as well as on you right here in the middle. Very important to keep track of CCs on all of your party members, on you, on your target and focus target. You can set these up, which crowd control effects you want to be tracking. There's silence, disarm, immune, and so on. So these were some of the most important add-ons I'm using on all the World of Warcraft expansions I've played over the years. I don't really make much changes to them at all. I hope this helped some of you that have been asking about my add-ons for quite a while. And if you have any questions concerning add-ons, you can ask me down in the comments.